Makoto Naegj, the only person who could trip over a wireless internet connection. With a haircut that's been on the losing end of a battle with a lawnmower and luck so bad you'd think he was a walking talking jinx, Makoto isn't your typical hero. In fact, he's just an ordinary student, ridiculously ordinary, who finds himself tossed into the deep end at the elite Hope's Peak Academy, where the top students are anything but normal. But don't let his bewildered gaze fool you. Despite looking like he's more lost than my father getting the milk, Makoto is about to play the lead in a life or death mystery game. The rules are simple: survive, as secrets unravel and tensions soar. In a blast from the past, Jin Kirigiri finds himself in a bit of a bind, literally tied to a chair. Enter Monokuma, a sinister bear who decides it's a good day for a rocket ride. He sends Jin sky high in a rocket shaped like himself. The trip ends with a crash landing back on Earth, leaving nothing but Jin's skeleton behind. And of course this crazy bear is enjoying the show. Fast forward to the present, where Makoto Naegj, an average guy with extraordinary luck, wins a lottery to attend the prestigious Hope's Peak High School. As the super high school level lucky student, although I'm not sure if the word lottery is the right word to use considering what he is about to go through, he steps into the school and promptly passes out, thinking that P. Diddy put something at the gate before the party started. He wakes up with a note telling him to head to the gym. At the gym, Makoto meets 14 other students, each with their own quirky titles. From a fortune teller who probably didn't see this mess coming, to a fashion expert, and a mysterious Kyoko Kirigiri, whose talent is as unclear as why Makoto's here in the first place. Sayaka Meizono, a pop idol from Makoto's past, remembers him, which is either a miracle or she's just really good with faces. Suddenly, a bear appears introducing himself as Monokuma, telling them that they're all trapped in the school forever unless they decide to dabble in a bit of elimination. He creatively suggests methods like beat, stab, club, as if discussing a new workout routine. The students are understandably upset. Mondo, a biker guy, loses his cool and grabs Monokuma, who then blows up because touching the bear is apparently against the rules. Another Monokuma pops up to remind everyone of the no-touch policy before disappearing. After failing to find an exit, Byakuya, the rich kid, decides he's better off alone, because who needs friends when you're rich? Makoto tries to play peacemaker but ends up knocked out by Mondo. Waking up in his dorm, Makoto finds Sayaka by his side. She stayed to make sure he was okay, if only our exes were this pretty and nice in the past. Together, they attend a meeting where the group decides to enforce a curfew. The next day, Monokuma introduces his latest motivational tool, DVDs. Each student finds a personal DVD in the room. Makoto watches his, seeing his family happy and then suddenly not there, in a room that looks like it's been decorated by a tornado. Sayaka watches hers, freaks out, and bolts. Makoto, being a loser, promises to help her escape, showing that no matter how many times you get Chris breezied, there's always a chance to stand up, even if it's just to get knocked down again. Sayaka was feeling trapped and thought the only escape from school was through a drastic act, committing a murder without getting caught. Meanwhile, Makoto Naegj, concerned about the atmosphere, inspected his room and found a note on his bathroom door stating that water would be turned off at 10 p.m. each night. Inside a desk drawer, he discovered a toolbox, which he suspected Monokuma intended for more sinister uses. His bathroom door was unusually stiff, but Monokuma showed up just in time to demonstrate how to open it. Shortly after, Sayaka rushed to his door, visibly shaken. She claimed someone had tried to force their way into her room. Makoto tried to reassure her, emphasizing their group's commitment to staying indoors. Sayaka, still uneasy, proposed they swap rooms for the night for her peace of mind, and Makoto agreed. After spending the night in Sayaka's room, Makoto woke up to find her missing from breakfast, which was unusual. Concerned, he hurried back to his room, now her temporary space, and was horrified to discover it trashed and Sayaka dead in the bathroom, a knife in her stomach. Overwhelmed by the scene, he fainted. When he regained consciousness, Sakura Ogami had carried him to the gym where all students gathered. Monokuma explained the rules of the class trials. If they failed to identify the murderer, everyone except the eliminator would face dire consequences. If they succeeded, the murderer would be punished severely. During this tense meeting, Junko refused to participate in the trial and confronted Monokuma, leading to her sudden and violent death by spears summoned by Monokuma, shocking everyone. Now, with two dead classmates, the students knew they had to investigate Sayaka's murder thoroughly. As the main suspect, due to the murder occurring in his room, Makoto faced suspicion from everyone. He and Kyoko investigated and gathered clues: a used knife, broken wristwatch fragments from Sayaka, gold flakes from a decorative katana, and mysterious numbers written in Sayaka's blood. They also found a broken crystal ball and a bloody cloth near the incinerator, and noticed the nameplates on their rooms had been swapped. In the trash, Makoto found a DVD which showed Sayaka with her idol group before a tragic scene implied their harm. Monokuma's message suggested that without the school, Sayaka would have nowhere to return to. After viewing this, all students were directed to the red gate on the first floor, leading them to the class trial room, where they would decide their fate. Monokuma summoned the students to the class trial room. They descended in an elevator to a courtroom and stood behind podiums bearing their names, including 2 for the deceased, Sayaka and Junko, marked by their photographs. Kyoko noticed an extra, unassigned podium, hinting at a possible 16th participant. The trial began, focusing on the knife that ended Sayaka's life. Ai and Sakura recalled seeing Sayaka take a knife from the kitchen the night before, supposedly for protection. Despite accusations against them, Mono assures them that only the real murderer could escape punishment. Makoto argued that Sayaka had taken the knife out of fear. Byakuya suggested the killer had wrestled the knife away from her. Suspicion fell heavily on Makoto, but Kyoko intervened, noting that the killer had tampered with the bathroom door handle, something Makoto wouldn't need to do since he knew how to open it. This led to the revelation that the nameplates on the rooms had been switched, misleading the killer into believing they were entering Sayaka's room. Discussion turned to how the intruder could have entered, with Makoto insisting that Sayaka wouldn't have willingly opened the door. Kyoko then produced a note from Sayaka found on Makoto's notepad, inviting someone to the room. Byakuya speculated that Sayaka had planned to frame Makoto, but her scheme backfired when her intended victim fought back using a decorative sword from Makoto's room. Amidst the debate, Leon denied further evidence, but Kyoko pointed out the numbers 11,037 written in blood near Sayaka's body. These, when viewed upside down, spelled Leon. Makoto pieced together that after being attacked, Sayaka wrote these numbers as she lay dying. Kyoko presented a bloody shirt piece and a broken crystal ball found near the incinerator as further evidence against Leon. It was theorized that Leon, a skilled baseball player, used the crystal ball to activate the incinerator from a distance, attempting to destroy the shirt. As the trial concluded, the voting machine identified Leon as the murderer. Upon his confession, Monokuma initiated a gruesome punishment, tying Leon to a pole on a mock baseball field where he was bombarded with baseballs until he no longer moved. The students, horrified, were reminded by Monokuma of the dire consequences of murder. Afterward, Kyoko visited Makoto, offering some solace by suggesting Sayaka tried to protect him with her final message. Despite the trauma, Kyoko encouraged Makoto to continue forward, appreciating his intuition and resilience. Makoto, touched by Kyoko's support, resolved to carry the memories of Sayaka and the trial with him as he moved ahead. After the first trial, Makoto Naegj was feeling down. While showering, he couldn't stop thinking about the deaths of Sayaka, Junko, and Leon. The next day, Monokuma opened up the second floor of the school, which featured a library and a pool, complete with separate changing rooms. As the students explored, they pondered over various escape plans from this sinister game. Byakuya and Kyoko discovered a laptop in the library. Unfortunately, it was as useful as Aqua from Kono. Meanwhile, Makoto stumbled upon a letter declaring Hope's Peak Academy closed until further notice due to an unspecified problem. Byakuya found some racy novels and commented that they would be a great distraction from the stressful games, which irked the others who couldn't see the fun in their grim situation. During a heated discussion in the library about the elimination game, Chihiro expressed her dislike for the game and her unwillingness to harm her friends. Byakuya, ever the provocateur, mocked her and reminded everyone that they had voted for Leon's death. Mondo stepped up to defend Chihiro, causing tensions to rise further. Kiyotaka tried to calm the situation, but the mood was already sour. Monokuma, always looking for entertainment, complained about the lack of murdering, calling the game boring. Chihiro, upset and feeling distrustful, ran away screaming, which did nothing to lighten the mood. Ai suggested they all go to the pool to relax, but found the changing rooms locked. Monokuma cheerfully explained that only the correct e-handbook could open them, or else a machine gun would give a whole new meaning to poolside fireworks. That night, Makoto caught Tauko spying on Byakuya in the library. He suggested she might want to freshen up, hinting at her noticeable odor. Misinterpreting his advice as a romantic gesture from Byakuya, Tauko dreamily agreed, convinced they were an item destined for a sitcom. The next day, a sauna contest between Mondo and Kiyotaka, which Makoto was dragged into judging, ended not in rivalry but in an unexpected bromance. The two emerged as best buds.
I love you, man. I love you too, bud.
declaring competitions a thing of the past. However, not everyone was in a good mood. Celestia was notably grumpy. Monokuma decided to stir the pot by threatening to reveal everyone's darkest secrets if another murder didn't happen soon. Makoto, whose secret was merely embarrassing childhood bedwetting, doubted anyone would eliminate over such revelations. Yet, the next morning, Makoto was proven wrong when he awoke to the announcement of another death. He rushed to the cafeteria, and soon they discovered Chihiro's body in the girls' locker room, grotesquely displayed and with the words bloodbath fever written in blood on the wall. As they investigated, they found several strange clues: Chihiro's missing handbook, mismatched posters, and a missing coffee stain that seemed like someone had cleaned up. Byakuya pointed fingers at Genocider Seo, a notorious murderer known for crucifying his victims and leaving bizarre messages, suggesting that the killer could be among them. AI, panicked, mentioned that Taoko was barricaded in her room, fearing she might be next on Genocider Seo's list. Byakuya remained eerily calm, possibly knowing more than he let on. As the students gathered for the second trial, tension was high, and everyone wondered if they could really catch another killer among them, or if the next joke would be on them. The students gathered in the courtroom, and Monokuma kicked things off by asking them to discuss the murder weapon. Makoto braced himself for a heated non-stop debate where they would use truth bullets to challenge each other's statements. Byakuya, examining the Monokuma file, declared that Chihiro had been eliminated by a blow to the head with a blunt object. Yasuhiro suggested a metal pipe could be the weapon, but Makoto corrected him, noting there was no pipe at the crime scene. Kyoko chimed in, pointing out that the dumbbell found near the body matched the wound on Chihiro's head, causing discomfort among the students, especially AI and Hifumi, given the grim topic. Celestia shifted the focus, arguing that the bloodstain in the girls' locker room meant that's where the murder occurred. Byakuya, confident as ever, claimed he knew who the killer was, accusing Genocider Seo, a revelation that shocked Yasuhiro and AI. Makoto backed Byakuya, referencing a file they found in the library about Genocider Seo's methods. Byakuya detailed the similarities between this murder and the serial killer's usual style, but Hifumi botched the details, which AI corrected. Byakuya then claims that Genocider Seo was actually Taoko Fukawa. AI protested, arguing that Taoko, who faints at the sight of blood, couldn't possibly be a violent killer. Byakuya insisted on his theory, and Makoto confirmed that Taoko has dissociative identity disorder as detailed in the file. In a dramatic turn, Taoko fainted from stress and transformed into mommy Genocider Seo when she woke up, surprising everyone with her brash and loud personality. Kiyotaka was bewildered, asking what was wrong with Taoko, only to receive a risque joke from Seo, who flirted with him. The group struggled to reconcile this new, starkly different personality with the shy Taoko they knew. Byakuya persisted with his accusation, but Genocider Seo playfully agreed, then quickly denied her involvement, asserting her innocence in this case. Despite her claims, the students were skeptical, doubting the word of a known serial killer. Makoto suggested keeping an open mind about other suspects, but Byakuya argued that Seo's method matched the murder scene. Makoto countered, pointing out inconsistencies in the murder's details compared to Seo's typical crimes, like the fact all her victims were men, and she used scissors, not a dumbbell. The debate intensified when Byakuya was forced to explain why he had detailed files on Genocider Seo at his home. Kyoko revealed the extension cord used in the murder came from the library, where Byakuya spent a lot of time. Makoto then realized the murder might have occurred in the boys' locker room, not the girls', recalling a missing coffee stain and mismatched posters as clues. Yasuhiro was stunned by the reveal of Chihiro's actual gender, prompting Monokuma to confirm Chihiro was a boy. This information led Makoto to deduce that Byakuya, surprised by this reveal, couldn't be the killer since he would have known Chihiro's gender if he were guilty. The students then considered how the killer could access both locker rooms. Kyoko found that the e-handbooks of deceased students could be used to enter, but Leon's was broken, implying only a male could have used one to commit the murder. Makoto pieced together clues about Chihiro meeting someone on the night of the murder, indicated by a blue jersey he was carrying. In a tense moment, Mondo slipped up about the jersey's color, which only the killer would know, drawing suspicion onto himself. Kiyotaka leaped to his defense, pleading for Mondo to clear his name. As they pieced together the final moments of Chihiro's life, the evidence against Mondo mounted, and the trial neared its climax, leaving everyone on edge about the true identity of the killer. The truth behind Chihiro Fujisaki's murder unfolds. The culprit is none other than Mondo Oda. In a daring scheme, Mondo swaps items between the boys' and girls' locker rooms to mislead everyone. He uses another student's electronic handbook to enter the girls' locker room, where he stages the murder scene. Chihiro's body is homesomely put with an extension cord, and the phrase bath fever is scrawled on the wall, mimicking the infamous serial killer Genocider Seo's style. Mondo tries to destroy the evidence by damaging the electronic handbooks in the sauna. As the students gather to vote, it becomes clear that Mondo is the murderer. His friend Kiyotaka Ishimaru is devastated, unable to grasp why Mondo would commit such a crime. Under pressure, Mondo confesses but struggles to explain his actions fully. The enigmatic bear and mastermind, Monokuma, steps in to tell Chihiro's heart-wrenching backstory. Chihiro, born sensitive and gentle, faced constant pressure to be more manly. Unable to cope, Chihiro initially chose to present as a girl to escape the harsh judgments. However, driven by the fear of his secret being exposed, Chihiro decides to confront his fears and vows to become stronger. He chooses Mondo, known for his toughness and honor, as his mentor. But there's a dark side to Mondo too. Monokuma reveals that Mondo's own secret was the accidental death of his revered older brother during a reckless street race, a secret Mondo desperately guarded. Overwhelmed by guilt and jealousy, seeing Chihiro change for the better while he remains stuck in his guilt, Mondo loses control and eliminates Chihiro. The truth hits everyone hard. As Monokuma sets the stage for Mondo's bizarre and brutal punishment, Kiyotaka tries in vain to intervene. Mondo is strapped to a motorcycle in a circus-like execution scene. The ride spins wildly in a cage until it's a blur, and when it stops, Mondo is gone. All that's left is a small tub of butter, a grim joke from Monokuma about Mondo's fate. In the aftermath, the students grapple with their sorrow and the cruel reality of their situation, realizing just how powerless they are in this deadly game. Monokuma, ever taunting, hints at another mystery, a hidden 16th student, leaving everyone anxious about what other secrets lie within the academy's walls. At Hope's Peak Academy, the aftermath of another class trial unveils new mysteries. Ai Asahina, grieving the loss of her friends, wanders alone and is startled by a bright light in the darkness. Suddenly, Chihiro Fujisaki's face appears,
oh, hell no!
and AI's screams echo through the hallways. After the trial, a new floor opens up, complete with a game room, art room, and science lab, offering a brief distraction from the gloom. At breakfast, the students gather, but Ishimaru is silent, still stunned by Mondo's grim fate. Monokuma, ever the instigator, corrals everyone into the gym, introducing a shocking new motive, a whopping 10 billion yen
Here comes the money! Here we go, money talk!
for anyone who can commit murder and escape detection. The students are skeptical, after all, who would eliminate for money? Well, maybe except for Byakuya Tagami, who might just add it to his trust fund. Amid the tension, AI reveals she's seen the ghost of Chihiro. The students rush to the public baths, where they discover a laptop containing an AI named Alter Ego, which Chihiro had programmed. Alter Ego, taking on Mondo's appearance, reassures a distraught Kiyotaka, sparking a transformation in him. He now calls himself Kyondo Ishida, claiming Mondo's spirit lives on in him. The others aren't convinced. Kyoko Kirigiri, ever the pragmatist, urges Alter Ego to keep digging for clues. Just when things couldn't get weirder, Alter Ego shows a photo of Leon, Chihiro, and Mondo having a good time. The group suspects Monokuma's trickery, questioning reality. The next day, screams from the bathhouse lead Makoto Naegj to a flustered Hifumi Yamada, who's developed a crush on Alter Ego. It's complicated, he claims, but Kiyotaka isn't having it and a brawl ensues, only stopped by Kyoko's intervention. Kyoko decides to restrict access to Alter Ego, but the drama doesn't stop. The next day, Alter Ego mysteriously vanishes. Accusations fly between Kiyotaka and Hifumi, with Kyoko suspecting a traitor among them. As night falls, chaos ensues with Celestial Ludenberg and Hifumi being attacked by a mysterious justice robot. After a dizzying series of events, including disappearing corpses and a failed robot uprising courtesy of Hagakure, the students regroup, exhausted. They finally find Hifumi whispering the name Yoshihiro with his last breath. And like clockwork, Monokuma announces another class trial. With tensions high, Makoto quips, well, at least we don't have to worry about running out of soap with all these bathhouse trips. As the students prepare for the trial, they brace themselves for more twists in Monokuma's twisted game. In a heart-wrenching flashback, we see Hifumi Yamada's final moments as he dies in Ai Asahina's arms. Suddenly, Monokuma's voice cuts through the somber mood, announcing a body's discovery and calling for another class trial. The students suspect Yasuhiro Hagakure might be behind the murders, and some even wonder if Kyoko Kirigiri helped him, though they quickly dismiss the idea since there's no gain in being an accomplice. Makoto Naegj sets out to find Kyoko and Yasuhiro but runs into Kyoko first. She quickly changes the subject from her whereabouts and urges him to gather everyone at the pool area. There, a tense silence hangs until Kyoko swings open a nearby locker to reveal the Justice robot suit stuffed inside, stunning everyone except Celestial Ludenberg. As Sakura Agami and Makoto help Yasuhiro climb out of the suit, Toko Fukawa can't help but mock him for how ridiculous he looks. Yasuhiro claims he was set up. Someone sent him a note, lured him to the locker, then knocked him out and stuffed him into the suit. Byakuya Tagami demands to see the note, but Yasuhiro admits he lost it, which makes AI and Byakuya skeptical of his innocence. During this chaos, Celestia points out Kyoko's odd reaction to finding Yasuhiro in the locker. When Makoto confronts Kyoko about her earlier disappearance, she dismisses it, saying she was investigating something, and quickly shifts focus to the need to examine the bodies. Kyoko and Makoto then inspect the bodies of Kiyotaka and Hifumi, finding a crucial note clutched in Hifumi's hand. As they head to the class trial, Makoto is plagued by doubts about the evidence and the true meaning of Hifumi's dying words, wondering if Yasuhiro really referred to Hagakure or if there's a deeper twist awaiting them. The trial begins with AI and Celestia firmly pointing the finger at Yasuhiro, backed by blueprints and robot parts they claim are his. Yasuhiro, completely bewildered, vehemently denies the accusations, but the evidence seems stacked against him. The group braces for a heated debate to uncover the truth behind the mysterious and tragic events. In a tense moment during the class trial, Makoto Naegj challenges the claim that Yasuhiro Hagakure drew the blueprints for the robot suit. He presents a note with handwriting different from Yasuhiro's as evidence, arguing that Yasuhiro couldn't have altered his handwriting that quickly. He also points out the impracticality of moving bodies while wearing a cumbersome robot suit. Toko Fukawa and Byakuya Tagami nod in agreement, but AI Asahina shifts the discussion to a photo taken by Celestia Ludenberg. Kyoko Kirigiri steps in, urging the group to consider other possibilities, which Celestia dismisses, suggesting that Kyoko, who was also missing at times, might be involved. Kyoko counters by questioning whether the bodies could have moved on their own, catching Celestia off guard. Celestia references Monokuma's announcement of Hifumi's death to discredit her, but Kyoko clarifies the timing of the deaths, prompting Monokuma to confirm he announced each death upon discovery. A breakthrough comes when Makoto mentions that Hifumi's glasses, initially bloodied, were found clean later in the art storage room. Byakuya recalls seeing blood bags in the infirmary, and Toko proposes that Hifumi might have faked his death using the blood. Sekira Agami notes that the art storage room was locked from the inside, adding another layer of mystery. Kyoko then reveals a crucial piece of evidence, a note found in Hifumi's underwear that lists a different meeting time than the one in Yasuhiro's note. Yasuhiro confirms the discrepancy, and Kyoko suggests that Hifumi was trying to sow confusion. Makoto questions the significance of the numbered hammers found at the crime scenes, proposing they were meant to mislead rather than indicate anything about the victims. Celestia presses for the murder weapon's identity, and Makoto points to a clean hammer found hanging on the wall, suggesting that Hifumi might have been an accomplice who couldn't graduate, and the real killer used him. Monokuma ends the debate, leaving open who manipulated Hifumi and committed the murders for the prize money. Makoto, piecing together previous inconsistencies, accuses Celestia of being the mastermind. He demands she show her student handbook, which would disclose her real name, confirming her identity as Tiko Yasuhiro. Caught, Celestia admits her guilt and asks Monokuma to proceed with her punishment. As the unanimous vote seals her fate, Celestia reveals her elaborate plan to use the prize money for a western castle, driven by a desire to escape to a fantasy world. Following her execution, Kyoko hands Makoto the key to where Alter Ego is hidden. Despite the ongoing tension and his unanswered questions about Kyoko's secretive actions, Makoto expresses trust in her. Kyoko then shares her discovery of a secret room in the boys' washroom, which they explore together. Inside, they find the Hope's Peak Academy student register, warning them not to leave. As Makoto reads the register aloud, he's suddenly attacked and knocked unconscious. When he wakes up, the files are gone. Rushing to the gym, he finds Monokuma and Sekira Agami in a fierce showdown with only 7 of the original 15 students remaining in the deadly eliminating game. Sekira Agami confronts Monokuma, declaring she will no longer follow his commands and is ready to fight him. Monokuma warns her about the hostages he holds. Unbeknownst to them, Makoto Naegj overhears their conversation. Hiding nearby. The next day, the 4th floor of the school becomes accessible. Sekira, Makoto, and AI Asahina explore the new area, including the chemistry lab and music room, but find that some rooms, like the principal's office, remain locked. When Makoto tries to open the principal's room, Kyoko Kirigiri appears and inquires about the hidden room he mentioned before. Makoto explains that he was attacked when he tried to investigate it and discovered a strange note there. Kyoko warns him to keep quiet about it because of the cameras around. Makoto hesitates to share more, suspecting Sekira might be involved but not wanting to voice his baseless suspicions. When he tells Kyoko he can't divulge more, she reminds him that they agreed to trust each other as a team. Disappointed by his secrecy, she leaves. Frustrated by their lack of progress, Yasuhiro Hagakure suggests They break into the principal's office for clues. However, Monokuma quickly introduces a new rule prohibiting the students from breaking down any locked doors, hinting that something important is hidden there. The students then visit Alter Ego, the AI, who reveals that they might be trapped in the school for life due to a terrible incident that led to the school's lockdown. Alter Ego also suggests that the true principal of Hope's Peak might be behind everything. During this visit, Alter Ego shows them another mysterious photo. Suddenly, Monokuma calls everyone to a gym meeting and directly exposes Sakura as his agent. This revelation shocks everyone except AI, who defends Sakura. Makoto tries to explain that he witnessed Sakura fighting Monokuma, suggesting her alliance was not willingly but only to protect others. The group questions Makoto about the real principal, but Sakura admits she doesn't know more. Feeling betrayed yet remorseful, Sakura asks for forgiveness from her friends and leaves the gym. Her departure triggers a fierce argument between AI and Byakuya Tagami, culminating in AI slapping Tagami for his dismissive attitude. Kyoko intervenes, cautioning Tagami to respect others' feelings, bringing a tense moment to a close. The next day, an argument broke out between AI Asahina and Toko Fukawa after Toko spoke negatively about Sakura Ogami. During the argument, AI hurt her hand. When Sakura found out about AI's injury, she yelled loudly, upset by the news. Kyoko Kirigiri later asked Makoto Naegj about his ability to stay kind under stress. She then took him to see Alter Ego, the AI. Alter Ego asked to be connected to the school's network to help the students escape, despite the risk of being discovered by the mastermind. Makoto volunteered to help and took Alter Ego to a secret room on the second floor to connect to the network. The following day, Makoto, Kyoko, and AI found Sakura lifeless in a locked room. Makoto broke the door's glass to open it and they found Sakura had died. It was a mystery how the room was locked from the inside. Monokuma announced another class trial. Ao, shocked, went to find the other students, while Kyoko calmly examined Sakura's body. She noticed Sakura had been hit twice, there was blood mixed with vomit, and a strange powder near her feet. With the remaining students gathered, AI quickly accused Yasuhiro Hagakure, Toko Fukawa, and Byakuya Tagami of being suspects. They were the last three people to see Sakura alive, leading AI to believe one of them must be the killer. After several tragic events, Naegj surveys the aftermath. Kirigiri leads him to a room filled with yellow powder and footprints. During the class trial, Monokuma asks if they will lose another student and if the school will end. AI Asahina accuses Tagami, Fukawa, and Hagakure of attacking Sakura Ogami, claiming they were summoned to the recreation room by Sakura. Tagami admits he received a note from Sakura, but Hagakure denies going. Fukawa says she saw Hagakure hit Sakura with a bottle. She admits she arrived early, hid in a locker, and witnessed the attack. After Hagakure left, she came out, fell down, and in panic, hit Sakura again with another bottle. As they argue, Asahina insists they quickly find and punish the culprit, which seems odd to Naegj. Naegj recalls a key detail and asks Fukawa about the attack's location. He points out that Sakura's body was found sitting on a chair, not in front of the magazine library as Fukawa mentioned. Tagami then shows a bottle from the chemistry lab. He explains the lab is divided into nutrients, reagents, and poisons. The bottle, labeled as poison, actually contained a protein shake, indicating someone swapped them. The powder spill and the footprints from sneakers match Asahina's, who admits they are hers. Everyone is shocked by her admission, given her close friendship with Sakura. Naegj questions the locked door mystery, suggesting more to the story. Kirigiri reveals new evidence that the yellow powder on Sakura's shoes came from the chemistry lab, suggesting she took the poison herself. Tagami asks why Asahina hid the cause of Sakura's death. Asahina reveals Sakura's will, which states she chose to end her life rather than continue under the pressure of being Monokuma's agent. Monokuma interrupts with the real will, which shocks everyone. It shows Sakura acted under pressure because her family's dojo was held hostage. She chose to die to stop the betrayal among friends. Monokuma then smashes a laptop, destroying potential further evidence. The students read Sakura's letter again, deeply moved by her final act of friendship. As they explored the 5th floor of the school, Asahina and Hagakure stumbled upon a botanical garden filled with gigantic, otherworldly flowers and a quaint chicken coop that seemed oddly out of place. Tagami, looking somewhat frustrated, reported that there were no staircases leading upwards and concluded, "Looks like this building caps at 5 stories. By any chance, is this game taking any volunteers? Because I would love to volunteer some people out for this." Kirigiri, ever the mystery solver, hinted she'd figure it out, but Tagami was quick to challenge her. "You always wander off alone at the worst times. Where were you during those past incidents with Yamada, Seals, and Ogami? And really, who are you?" When Kirigiri remained tight-lipped, Tagami demanded her room key. With a sigh, she handed it over and walked away. Just then, another girl pulled out a knife, surprisingly nonchalant. I was exploring the 5th floor too and found this. Who leaves knives lying around? Was there a discount on danger? She passed the knife to Naegj for safekeeping. Suddenly, they received a call from Monokuma, who was visibly upset. One of you is a thief who stole my priceless treasure. And now, one of you is missing. I bet she's the thief. He stormed off, leaving them in confusion. Naegj was pondering Kirigiri's mysterious nature when she reappeared. Meet me in the changing room. It's the only spot without prying eyes. In the changing room, Kirigiri revealed a key she'd discovered in the principal's office. Naegj, taken aback, asked how she accessed the locked room. Thanks to Ogami, I could explore it. It's where I learned about Ikusaba Mukuro, who might be the real mastermind here, she explained, though she admitted lacking proof. Kirigiri planned to investigate further and asked Naegj to distract Monokuma. Naegj agreed, making her promise to retreat if things got dicey. As Naegj engaged Monokuma, trying to divert his attention, Monokuma grilled him about what he and Kirigiri were up to in a camera-free zone. Naegj dodged, just washing up, but speaking of secrets, what's this treasure about? Was it a limited edition evil teddy? Monokuma dismissed him and left. Naegj sighed, I've done my bit, now let's hope Kirigiri doesn't get caught and turns this key mystery into a key victory. As Kirigiri delved into her investigation, Naegj tried to stay optimistic despite the dangers. One night, as he calmed himself, he thought he saw Kirigiri in front of him holding a knife. By morning, he noticed the knife he had placed in his drawer was missing. Curious and a bit alarmed, he stepped outside his room only to find it eerily quiet. Soon, he discovered all the others gathered together, working on dismantling Monobear with tools. Naegj, taken aback, asked, what's going on here? They explained that they had intended to confront Monobear about his stolen treasure, but discovered it was just a toy controlled remotely by someone. They even managed to contact him, which surprised Naegj since he had been asleep. Tagami then suggested they check the principal's office, but found it locked. As he sent the serial killer girl to fetch tools to break in, she returned with startling news of a dead body in the botanical garden. They rushed there and found a woman with a mask on her face. As Fukawa removed the mask, a large explosion erupted. Tagami grimly noted that the victim might be Kirigiri since she was the only one missing. Naegj recalled Kirigiri's warning about a hidden 16th high schooler at the academy. They observed a crest on the dead girl's hand, sparking further mystery. Tagami then discovered another key on her, suspecting it was for the data processing room. Upon using the key, the door swung open to reveal surveillance footage and a TV connected to an antenna. As they prepared to switch on the TV, Monobear reappeared, startling everyone. He revealed that the horrific series of mutual eliminations was being broadcast nationwide. The students protested, arguing that the police should have intervened by now, but Monobear claimed that the public was actually enjoying the show. Ending the shocking revelation, Monobear announced another class trial before leaving. Naegj and his classmates uncover the truth behind a classmate's murder. When Naegj questions Kirigiri about her whereabouts, she reveals she was on the 2nd floor using a skeleton key that could open any room on campus. As they gather with Monobear, they begin discussing the mysterious disappearance of the lady's body from the botanical garden, with suspicions flying all around. Initially, they suspect Kirigiri, who wasn't with them when they were examining Monobear. Kirigiri counters, pointing out that Naegj was also absent during the murder. They establish Naegj was actually present and debate the condition of the body, noting it was only wet on the top. Kirigiri, defending herself, turns the suspicion towards Naegj. Eventually, they conclude the woman wasn't eliminated by the knife in her chest but was struck on the head with a blunt object, leading them to wrongfully accuse Naegj as the culprit. After Monobear sentences Naegj and has him disposed of, he miraculously survives, thanks to alter ego. Finding himself in a garbage-filled area where he found Annie Visor sitting there too, he vows not to give up. Soon, Kirigiri appears, admitting she came to rescue him. She confesses feeling guilty for prioritizing her goals over his safety. Naegj reassures her, blaming the mastermind for their predicament. Kirigiri reveals shocking news. Mukuro Ikusaba wasn't meant to be murdered. It was supposed to be Naegj. The mastermind planned to frame Kirigiri for Negi's murder, but the plan failed. Now labeled a hindrance, the mastermind tried to execute Naegj. Kirigiri suggests they escape, using her skeleton key to unlock the door leading to a huge ladder, which they climb. As they ascend, Kirigiri's memories return. She recalls being the super high school level detective and shares that her main goal was to reunite with her father, the principal of Hope's Peak High School. They decide to confront Monobear, who is shocked to see Naegj alive. Monobear lays down a challenge: solve all the school's mysteries or face execution. They accept and leave to regroup with their friends. Upon seeing Naegj, his friends are relieved and apologize for doubting him. Naegj lightens the mood, it's okay. Apparently, the mastermind thinks we're in a bad mystery novel. Let's prove them wrong. He shares details of their final showdown with Monobear, ready to uncover the truth together. Monobear unlocks all doors on the campus, giving everyone access to unravel the mysteries of the school. Negi and Kirigiri head to the principal's office. Kirigiri tells Negi that she's already searched the room with her master key and found nothing of importance, but something still bothers her. She shows him a password on the computer. Intrigued, Negi tries the password, and it works, revealing a hidden room behind a panel. Inside, they find a shocking sight, a skeleton in a box. Kirigiri somberly identifies it as her father's remains. She mentions that only the 16 of them were supposed to be alive in the academy, confirming her father must be dead. While exploring further, Negi discovers a memory card and inserts it into the computer. They watch a video of them meeting the principal, discussing duties they can't recall. Suddenly, Monobear bursts in and destroys the computer, halting their investigation. Meanwhile, Togami is in the PS office, analyzing the student register. He spots the picture of the 16th high schooler. Monobear briefly enters, places a paper on the floor, and leaves. Back with Negi, he uses the principal's personal device to open a locker, finding a crystal ball and a journal belonging to Hagakure. In another locker, he finds a journal outlining a plan for the students to live together in the academy, apparently written by Kirigiri. The journal reveals that 2 of their group were previous classmates. Negi then enters a morgue, where Monobear, appearing again, drops a group photo as a clue. Continuing his search, Negi discovers another peculiar photo in a different room, showing only 15 students, with him missing. As they gather for the final classroom trial, everyone holds a strange photo they found during their investigations, except Kirigiri. Negi declares that these photos are just a trap set by the mastermind to turn them against each other. Negi confronts Kirigiri about her lack of a picture. She explains that she suspected it was a trap and chose not to engage with it. Negi then shares that he had used the principal's electronic book, found during their investigation, to access Hagakure's and Kirigiri's belongings in a second-floor locker room. He reveals finding a notebook belonging to Kirigiri which detailed a plan to turn the school into a shelter. This proves that the pictures are real, Negi announces to the group. There's a terrifying truth behind it all: we all have amnesia. These pictures, and the personality shifts they suggest, aren't the only clues pointing to that. He then shows them a memory card he discovered in the principal's office, containing video recordings of each student being interviewed by the principal. "This is my proof," Negi asserts, pointing to the videos as evidence of their forgotten pasts. Negi goes on to claim that the person who attacked him that night, who bears the same tattoo as the girl found dead in the botanical garden, is the real culprit and mastermind behind their plight. Suspicion initially falls on Kirigiri, known for always wearing gloves, but she reveals her hands are covered in burn marks, clearing her name. With Kirigiri vindicated, Negi accuses the true mastermind, Inashima Junko, who has been controlling Monobear and pretending to be dead. Shock ripples through the group as Junko reveals herself. "I've been waiting for this moment, for people like you to expose the truth," Junko declares proudly. She then reveals a shocking twist: Mukuro and I were twins, she was the physically adept older sister. The revelations leave everyone reeling as they grapple with the true extent of the deception they've been subjected to. Junko Inashima revealed to the students that she and Mukuro Ikusaba were twin sisters and the true high schoolers of Hope's Peak Academy. The students, puzzled, asked why they didn't share the same last name and questioned if Junko had really eliminated her own sister. Junko explained that Mukuro was unfit to be the principal, a role necessary to oversee the students, due to lacking the necessary qualities. Instead, Junko assumed the role of a student, ultimately betraying and eliminating Mukuro to maintain her cover. Junko then shocked them by showing footage of the outside world, now in complete chaos. Genocider Seo, one personality of Toko Fukawa, confirmed this as she had retained her memories, being distinct from Toko's main personality. It was then revealed that the students' missing memories were of 2 years spent together at the academy. Junko coldly informed Togami that his family had been destroyed. She challenged the students to recall their lost 2-year memories to solve the mysteries. Despite their efforts, none could remember. The first year had been positive, but everything changed a year ago when a global catastrophe prompted the school to convert into a shelter, unknowingly trapping the students. The shelter meant to protect you became a prison, Junko declared, revealing that she manipulated the broadcasts of their actions using hijacked signals. After eliminating the headmaster, she erased their memories and initiated the deadly game, even sacrificing her sister. Kirigiri speculated that Junko couldn't have orchestrated such extensive plans alone, suggesting an organization might be behind her. Junko smirked and claimed it was all her own doing, motivated by her philosophy of despair. Hagakure, panicking, pleaded for mercy, which Monobear flatly refused. Negi stood firm, telling Junko, "I don't buy it. You might sell despair, but we're not buying." Do you offer refunds? In a final showdown, Junko Inishima gives the students a choice between hope and despair. She tells them that if everyone votes for hope, they can leave the academy, but if even one person votes for despair, they all must stay. She also announces that one student will face a terrible execution, and she chooses Makoto Naegj. Junko suggests that sacrificing Naegj would allow the others to live peacefully in the academy. Despite this threat, Naegj uses his hope to inspire everyone. He reminds Kirigiri of her father, the principal, who never gave in to despair, suggesting she has the same strength in her. Inspired by Naegj, Kirigiri regains her hope. Naegij's ability to inspire others earns him the title of Ultimate Hope. When it's time to vote, all the students choose hope, including Junko, who calls herself the Ultimate Despair. She then undergoes the ultimate punishment, leaving behind a switch that allows the students to escape. Filled with hope, Naegj and the others use the switch to leave the academy and step into the uncertain outside world. After the credits, there's a hint that their challenges aren't over as Monomi says she hopes to meet the group soon.